Morning. Well, it's only just morning. It's 20 to 12 now, and other than giving the van a quick little spruce up before I kind of got cracking, the phone rang, and I've sort of spent the last couple of hours sort of on and off the phone trying to diagnose a fault. Run through to Dumfries just now to gather up some bits for a job that I'm on with tomorrow, and then that's on the way up to a job sort of between Edinburgh and Glasgow. So that's just a refueling pump controller. Anyway, I'll see you a bit further up the road. Just up at HQ now, picking up an alternator. So my loading shovel that I mentioned earlier, it's come up with another error code now saying transmission communication error, and I'm just wondering if it's the alternator that's away on it. So if the alternator is providing gauge panel with the engine RPM, it'll also be telling the transmission what the engine RPM is. And if the engine RPM drops out, then the transmission will put a fault code on saying that it's protecting the engine from stalling. And then if the voltage for the transmission communication drops below 18 volts, then the transmission controller will shut down. So my thinking is it might be an alternator that's dodgy on this shovel, but we'll find out tomorrow. Alright, I've made it to my digger. It's there now, but it was way over the brow of that hill. I thought I'll just swing into this gateway, and then I saw how big that rack was, so I thought, well, I'll reverse over it, and I've tried to do a bit of landscaping with the tow bar on the van. So I've wandered over, I've fetched the digger across. I'm just gonna level out that and pull the van off the road because it's on a bit of a nasty bend. So watch out, I'm going to get behind the sticks of the digger. Right, so the fault with this digger is these buttons are stuck in, they don't work. So I'm going to replace this refueling pump controller. Very straightforward and simple. Yeah, it would appear the root cause of this problem is it's got water in it. Lovely. So tip all that out, and we'll put a new one on it. Right, so to prevent it from hopefully not happening again, I'm going to use some of this sealant here just along the seam, and just try and seal it up, try and stop it from doing it again. Right, I'm going to put this on the digger. Right, there we go, that's it on, and that's it all working. So for anybody that doesn't know what this does, you've got a fuel pump on the machine. Where is it? Fuel pump down there, and you've got this flexy bit of hose here. So the idea is you have a great big fuel bowser, you drop that into the fuel bowser, and you jump down here, press start, and it'll draw the fuel out the bowser and into the tank. You should really take the fuel cap off to allow the air to come out, because obviously if you're forcing diesel into there, the tank will become pressurised. To be fair, the cap does have a breather on it, but it's best practice just to crack the lid. Anyway, hit start on that, and you should really be able to walk away from it. And once the fuel level's full, it should switch itself off. And then what a lot of people don't realise, that one there, that's like a momentary switch. The idea of that is you hold onto your pipe, hold it up into the air, press that button, and it'll suck all the fuel that's in this pipe out of the pipe, so it keeps your toolbox nice and clean. So there's a handy tip for anybody that doesn't know, because I know when I've mentioned it to some folk in the past, they've had no idea about that. So there you go. So that's a refueling pump controller, and that's what I've came all this way to fit. Right, you have your good days and your bad days at this job. Nice views. Right, I'll pack up, and that's going to be the end of today. Goodness me, I think it's about 3:30 now. Right, I'll go and put it back where I found it. Right, it's a long walk back now. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I didn't think I'd have to put my winter boiler suit back on again this year after the last 10 days or so of weather, but here we are, snow on the fells, and it's pretty chilly here today. So I'm at this loading shovel again. As with anything, when you kind of start work on a machine that you're not familiar with, you haven't sort of known its sort of history and its background. We were here last Thursday to service it and have a look at a fault with the electric steering. The driver was saying that occasionally it'll drop itself out of gear and sort of go into a limp mode, and the only way you could get it back working again was switching the machine off and restarting it again. When I looked into that sort of fault, the code that was fairly active was a starter motor fault, which you saw me replace the other day. That fault was a short circuit to 24 volts, so my thought process was that if there's a short circuit going to the chassis of the machine, it could cause all sorts of different faults, and sure enough there was about 30 odd different faults in the failure log. So once I'd fitted that starter motor, I've erased all the error codes, started with a clean slate, so I know that the electric steering's working as it should be, the starter motor's working as it should be. I ran it round for 10-15 minutes after fitting the starter motor, and everything seemed alright. They phoned me yesterday and had a couple of error codes. So initially it was a check engine light on the screen, and there was no associated error code on their real-time failure list, so it was literally a check engine but no reason as to why it came on. and then about half an hour later he phoned me to say there's another code now. It's a transmission code, and it's saying that the transmission has shifted to neutral to protect the engine from stalling. So at least I had a code there. I went ratcheting around in the service library for it, and there wasn't really a great deal of information as to why the transmission would do that, or why the transmission controller would do that. And then about an hour later there was another code to say that the transmission controller has lost communication. So my thought process was that if the alternator provides an engine RPM, it tells the transmission controller basically what the engine RPM is. If that alternator drops out, doesn't provide an engine RPM, the transmission thinks that the engine's stalling, so then it shifts the machine into neutral. And also with the transmission controller, if the system voltage drops below 18 volts, then the transmission controller will shut down. So when I've got here this morning, I've ran it around a bit, and I've got an error code here now, E000167, and it's alternator no signal. So looks like running all the way up to Castle Douglas for that alternator yesterday was time well spent. So I'm going to put it on, and I'll run it around for a bit and see how we go. Sorry that was a bit of a ramble, that's 3 minutes. But there we go. That's the new alternator on now, so I'll take it for a run, get this mucky boiler suit off, take it for a run and see what happens next. Right, that's me done with this shovel. I've ran it around up in the quarry for the best part of an hour now, and there doesn't seem to be any faults happening. The alternator is looking a lot better than the previous one did, and I've looked at it through the dash. So we'll just have to see how it performs now. It's one of those, do I oh, there I am, look, hello. Do I run it for another hour or two, or just call it quits, head away and leave them to give it a good run? So we'll do that, we'll leave it with them and see what happens in the future. Right, that's it for the day. I've just nipped into that 225 to do a software update on it, and I've been and collected some parts from another spot as well that needed returning, so that's put the rest of the day in. It's 3:15 now. I've got an hour and a half drive back up to the yard, get this stuff off the van, and I've got a couple of days off, Thursday, Friday and Monday. I'm taking a bit of time off, freshen up, and hopefully with a bit of luck when I get back we'll have a new van sat ready to go. Fingers crossed, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, this last couple of days it's been a bit been a bit slow, I suppose you'd say, well, content wise on the videos, but yeah, it definitely pays, I think anyway, to research some of these jobs before you go to them. Certainly cheaper to sit in the workshop and spend a bit of time on the laptop looking into things before you sort of jump in the van and spend an hour and a half driving down to site, to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours looking at it and scratching your head. So yeah, definitely paid off running up to HQ yesterday and picking up that alternator, and yeah, finishing the week with naught left over. So hopefully when I get back and get into my van, the backlog of work shouldn't be too bad. I know I've got a service to do next week, and I think at the moment, touch wood, that's all I've got to do. So thanks very much again for watching, and if you've just joined me on this video, go back to some previous videos to see a bit more action, so to speak. But thanks very much everybody that has already subscribed, and if you haven't already, just click that button. It doesn't cost anything. All it does is puts a little notification up on your YouTube app when I've made a new video. So thanks very much again, and we'll see you next week. Blimey, it's absolutely snowing. What a blizzard. You'd never believe yesterday it was sunshine and blue skies.